It's Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. CBS Mornings Plus starts right now.
Hey, here's what we're talking about.
A massive heat dome slams Chicago as multiple states are also hit with extreme temperatures. We'll tell you where.
When it's that hot, come down to the water.
I mean, Lake Michigan is Chicago's natural cooling center.
Then music legend Ozzy Osbourne dies at the age of 76. We'll take a tour looking back at his life and career, the Prince of Darkness, once more.
License plate readers used by police to track down criminals are making mistakes, and you could be pulled over next. We've got the story.
Hi, good morning. I'm here to play. I'm here to sign in.
My gosh, you can't be much older than my grandson.
Plus, actor Peter Dagger stars in the hit Apple TV Plus series Stick. He'll join us in studio.
We came out here today because I want to see what you do on the course. I want to see what you see, your instincts. You know Arnold Palmer?
Iced tea, lemonade. Mix it.
How quickly we forget.
How quickly we forget, indeed. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We have lots of headlines to get to, but we begin with the outpouring of tributes to one of music's most iconic figures, John Michael Osbourne, known by his friends and fans as Ozzy. He has died at the age of 76. He broke ground in rock and roll as the frontman for Black Sabbath, and then again in reality TV with his family by his side on the MTV show, The Osbournes. Ozzy Osbourne's family was also by his side when he died. Anthony Mason is here with more. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning. Ozzy Osbourne was the lead singer of Black Sabbath, an extremely talented solo artist and a major contributor to the development of heavy metal music. Osbourne never stopped living his life around music. Just weeks ago, he performed a farewell concert in England with Black Sabbath and some of the bands he so deeply influenced. Ozzy Osbourne rose to fame in the 1970s as lead singer of the heavy metal band Black Sabbath. Osbourne's unique wailing vocals and the band's heavy, distorted sound created its own distinctive genre and culture, metal. Osbourne became the poster boy of disenfranchised youth, earning him the title, the Prince of Darkness. The singer was also known for his crazy antics on stage. He once bit the head off a bat during a concert, though he admitted he thought it wasn't real. Osbourne's struggles with drugs and alcohol would get him fired from Sabbath. That's when Sharon Levy, the daughter of Black Sabbath's manager, stepped in. She became Ozzy's manager before marrying him and having 3 children together. Osbourne had a successful solo career and reunited with the band multiple times.
Sharon! Sharon!
And the world would see a different side of Ozzy when he became one of the first reality TV dads on the hit show The Osbournes.
I'm begging you, no more animals, please, boo.
In 2019, the rock star was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and lost the ability to walk.
Let the madness begin!
That didn't stop him from giving one last blowout show just weeks ago, reuniting with Black Sabbath. Yeah, Vlad and I were just talking. It's amazing that he was able to do that just a few weeks ago, and he was so moved by it. It was really lovely. Interesting fact, he's one of the few artists who was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, both with Black Sabbath and as a solo artist.
So the performance on stage, he's talked about it being, it's an act. It's not who he was off stage. But off stage in his memoir, the drug use was pretty serious.
Oh, it was
40 years of, he says, coke, booze, acid, quaaludes, glue, cough mixture, Klonopin, heroin, and Vicodin. It goes on and on. It was quite a life. But he got it back on track.
Hence the biting of the bat on stage.
Which he thought
that
was
will
a rubber
do
bat,
that to you.
apparently.
What's that? He didn't think it was real.
Yeah.
He didn't think it was real. But yeah, he definitely partied hard. But we were talking earlier about how to me, Ozzy's legacy will be this genre of music he and Black Sabbath created that didn't exist before. It's like when John Lennon used to say, before Elvis, there was nothing. Before Black Sabbath, in terms of heavy metal, there was nothing that existed like that before.
It's so interesting, though. He was also a pioneer in reality TV.
Yeah.
And for so many people, he was just that sort of goofy, bumbling dad who couldn't work the remote on the Osbournes, you know? And he had a whole other chapter, which was so endearing.
And speaking of the Beatles, he has been called, and Black Sabbath has been called the Beatles of heavy metal.
Yeah. Sean Ono Lennon posted, I'm paraphrasing here, but simply one of the greatest that ever played, you know? And so it's a real loss for the music industry. And I should just point out that he also helped launch the careers of some incredible guitar players, Randy Rhoads and Jake Ely and Zach Wilde.
Yeah.
So he was a real player.
Well, the further evidence that he was a very big deal is we had both of our big heroes here to talk about it. Anthony, Vlad, thank you very much.
Sure thing.
To the weather now, more than 95 million Americans are under heat alerts through Friday as a major heat dome slowly expands across the middle of the country. The heat index values are expected to hit 100 degrees and higher in some areas. Usher Qureshi's in Chicago, where it's been very, very hot, to say the least. Lake Michigan looking pretty good behind you. Good morning, Usher.
Good morning, Tony. We've got a breeze right now, but the heat index here is expected to hit up to 103 degrees today, up to 106 degrees tomorrow. These scorching hot temperatures come as Chicago marks 30 years since the deadliest heat wave in the city's history.
Along the beaches of Lake Michigan, Chicagoans took a dip Tuesday as the city prepared for feels-like temperatures to top 100 degrees this week.
Lake Michigan is Chicago's natural cooling center.
When it's that hot, come down to the water.
The immediate priority for us is messaging and communications.
Kayla LaRiviere oversees the city's emergency management services. She said Chicago is ready to beat the heat, with plans to push out weather alerts and safety tips via text and robocalls, not to mention offering more than 280 cooling centers.
Chicago's deadly heat wave has been described as a disaster of unprecedented proportions.
This week's heat wave comes as the city marks 30 years since a 5-day stretch of 100-plus degree temperatures killed 739 people. It led to a comprehensive heat emergency strategy that expanded cooling centers, enhanced well-being checks, and boosted first responder training.
We're talking about tens of millions of Americans who are going to be dealing with extreme heat the next couple of days. Biggest takeaways for those folks?
Take those warnings seriously and make sure you're taking care of yourself and checking up on your loved ones and your neighbors.
Now, temperatures are expected to cool off into the afternoon tomorrow, and then folks will be watching for something that tends to come after these heat waves, thunderstorms. Tony?
Tony, if you haven't experienced a Chicago thunderstorm, you have not lived. It's like the world is crashing all around you.
Oh, my gosh.
It's truly wild.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Usher will know.
Usher, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hope he finds cover
yes,
for the storm. All right, let's bring in meteorologist Rob Marciano of CBS News for more. Rob, good morning. How long can we expect these dangerous high temperatures to last?
Hey, good morning, Tony, Adriana. Well, Chicago will eventually cool off. They'll get those cooling thunderstorms, which, as you said, can be scary at times. But folks who live in, say, Paducah, Memphis, down through parts of the deeper south, Jackson, Mississippi, going to be in it for a lot longer than that. So that's what we're dealing with. Extreme heat warnings there in pink. The advisories have been expanded to include the Northeast because we got this heat dome we've been talking about centered across the central part of the country, but then kind of gets reinforced with a little bit of a Bermuda high. That pumps in the heat and humidity and spreads it up towards the north. So let's talk about some of the numbers today. With the humidity, it will feel like 111 in Memphis. That's dangerous. 110 in Jackson, Mississippi. 104 in Houston. That is really a problem. Corpus Christi, just noticing that. 107. And then today, we spread it into the Northeast. It'll feel like 90 degrees in New York City. But then on Friday is when it really starts to bake into the Northeast. Temperatures will approach over 100 degrees as far as the heat index goes. And then the thunderstorms, here they come. Minneapolis tonight. And then tomorrow, these do spread to Chicago. We had thunderstorms yesterday, real quick, in Jersey, and one dropped a water spout that eventually became a land spout right along the beaches there. It scared some people, but didn't do any damage. That's a cool thing to say. It doesn't hit you.
Yeah.
All right, Rob. To look at from afar.
I am. From a distance. Rob, thank you very much. Appreciate it. In Washington, the Justice Department says it wants to interview the convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. She, of course, a close associate of Jeffrey Epstein. And it comes as political pressure builds on President Trump to release more information on the Epstein case. Lisa Zhang has more on all of it from the White House.
Ghislaine Maxwell, the former girlfriend and convicted co-conspirator of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, is serving a 20-year prison sentence. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced he will interview Maxwell soon to ask, "What do you know?" President Trump claimed he was unaware of the plan.
See what happens. It's not up to me. It's not up to, I stay out of it purposely. Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do, yeah.
Trump is under pressure from members of his own party to release all the documents from the Epstein case. But when asked about the ongoing Epstein controversy, Trump deflected and accused former President Barack Obama of treason for his administration's investigation into allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 elections.
It's time to go after people.
A spokesperson for Obama responded, saying these bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. And rather than deal with a bipartisan push to force a vote on releasing more Epstein files, Speaker Mike Johnson is sending House lawmakers home early for a summer break.
We want maximum transparency. We also understand the other part of that duty is that we have to protect innocent victims.
But some GOP lawmakers want to stay in Washington to tackle the issue, like Congressman Tim Burchett. The House Oversight Committee passed his motion to issue a subpoena, compelling Maxwell to appear for a deposition.
And I just want to get to the bottom of it. That's all I want. And that's why I want to call her in. I think it's a good start.
Deputy AG Todd Blanche, the one who will speak with Maxwell, or plans to, also represented President Trump in a personal capacity last year when he was his lawyer during that so-called hush money case. And there are some concerns about how that could impact his interview with Maxwell. Adriana.
Leja, thank you so much. Rare footage has emerged of allegedly inhumane conditions for some of those detained by ICE. It comes from a facility here in New York. Detainees are spread across a holding room with some sleeping on the floor using makeshift beds. Lilia Luciano spoke to a woman whose husband was held there.
Men seen sleeping on the floor on thin thermal blankets, with reports the lights are kept on around the clock, and nearly 30 people sharing a single toilet. Video released by the New York Immigration Coalition gives a first look inside some of the holding cells of the city's federal immigration offices. A man is heard saying, "Look how they have us, like dogs in here."
He said it was very bad. They treated them like animals.
Samara's husband, John Paul Alcivar, was held at that facility for several days last month. She said he was fed just a sandwich and a bottle of water a day. Then he was sent to a detention center in Louisiana.
He was a whistleblower.
So it wouldn't be safe for him to go back?
No, not at all.
She told us he was fleeing persecution in Ecuador and was detained by ICE when he showed up to an asylum hearing.
He did not deserve any of this. He made sure he followed all the laws. He's never been arrested. He's never had any criminal record.
Samara is an American citizen. The two were married in May, and when he was arrested, she was pregnant.
That kills a person when the love of your life is just ripped from your hands. It was kind of very traumatic for me.
You blame the miscarriage on that trauma?
Yes, I do.
Now she also fears for his life. She says being denied access to life-saving medication for a liver condition. Do you fear his continued detention or his deportation more?
If I was to choose one, being in a detention center.
That's scarier than him being deported.
Because he's suffering in there. You know, he's in so much pain. If they continue what they're doing and not giving him what he needs, he's going to die in there.
We reached out to DHS spokeswoman Tricia McLaughlin, told us that detainees at that New York facility were held there briefly, and that any claim that there's overcrowding or subprime conditions at ICE facilities are categorically false. But look, we have been collecting stories from people who have been not just in Alligator Alcatraz, from attorneys, from people in Louisiana, New York, across the country, and many other reports are similar to what Samara told us.
All right, Lilia, thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you staying on this for us. We'll see you again soon. All right, we're going to turn now to to Idaho. The highly anticipated murder trial there. A sentencing hearing will take place today. Brian Kohberger, he pleaded guilty in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students and is coming face to face now with families of his victims. People lined up early in the morning waiting to get inside for the hearing. Jonathan Bigliotti has been following this case. He's been doing it from the very beginning. He joins us now in Boise with more. Jonathan, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Tony. And you really have to think about the families this morning. Today will be the first time they come face to face talking directly to Brian Kohberger. And there are still so many questions that haven't been answered. Paramount, the motive behind these murders. Kohberger will have the opportunity to speak today. It's unclear if he will. Meanwhile, we can tell you a gag order has been lifted, and we're now hearing from those close to the investigation.
It made the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
That reaction from Washington State University's police chief Gary Jenkins when he realized he'd crossed paths with Brian Kohberger months before the murders.
It was a chilling moment knowing that here was the suspect in these horrendous crimes is someone that I had interviewed.
As the former Pullman, Washington police chief, Jenkins spoke to the criminology student about an internship with the department.
Is there anything that stands out from your investigative perspective?
This could have been part of his plan, is to embed in the police department and be potentially privy to confidential information that might help him commit the, quote, perfect crime.
It will be a full day in a Boise courtroom for the 30-year-old defendant at his formal sentencing hearing today.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Yes.
Kohberger, who pleaded guilty earlier this month to killing Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, is expected to receive 4 consecutive life sentences as part of his plea deal. One major point of contention about the deal is the lack of a stated motive.
The question everybody wants answered is why?
A new docuseries on Prime Video highlights the increased public interest in that question. One family grasping for answers is the family of Kaylee Gonzalez. Our Gail King spoke to them last week.
Do you guys feel he's been remorseful?
No, not at all.
He showed zero remorse.
Would that be helpful to you if he showed remorse?
I think it would. I think it would be because, maybe he could go in there and say, I went in there for one person, I lusted, I had a moment, I was drunk or I was on drugs, and it just went crazy. That would make more sense.
And what struck me from my conversation with police chief was specifically surrounding the topic of motive. The chief telling me it could be as chillingly simple as Brian Kohberger trying to prove he could get away with murder, Adriana.
It's going to be a tough day, Jonathan. Thank you so much for all your coverage. Ahead in today's By the Way, as the world mourns the death of Ozzy Osbourne, many are remembering him for his pioneering reality show. We'll get a behind-the-scenes take from the executive producer of the Osbournes about what it was like working with the man behind the medal. Plus, our morning's memory back in the year 2000. Tiger Woods did something no one had ever done before. We'll tell you what it was when we get back.
Why did you start these things? You never tell me you're going.
Because everyone else heard what we said and you're the only one that didn't like it.
But darling, let me explain to you. You have not been standing in front of 30 billion decibels for 35 years. Just write me a note.
As we think about the life of Ozzy Osbourne, we know many will remember Osbourne for his iconic music, of course, but the man known as the Prince of Darkness was also a groundbreaking TV star. And by the way, we're proud to say that first season of The Osbournes premiered right on MTV, part of the Paramount family, way back in 2002. How far back is that? That is 5 years before the Kardashians. Nothing like it on TV at the time, really nothing like it. The show focused, of course, on the famous family and their antics, and it became a massive instant hit. Some viewers loved the craziness and Ozzy's unique patriarchal sense of humor, the dad jokes. Others appalled, couldn't stop watching because of the swearing, the over-the-top confrontations. It was reality TV, after all. But tucked into all of that chaos and unpredictability, the show also displayed love. Love that Ozzy had for his wife Sharon, love that he had for his children, and love of music as well. Jeff Stilson was an executive producer on the Osbournes, and I'm happy to say that he joins us now. Jeff, I really appreciate you getting up early from all the way where you are to talk about this here. Reality TV, sometimes people think it's not real. You were there. How real was it? What was Ozzy like on set?
We didn't use the term reality television when referring to the Osbournes. We considered it comedy documentary. We just turned the cameras on the family, and that was it. And they did the rest. They're they're just natural. They have a wonderful dynamic together. They love each other, and they're all very funny and smart. We just edited it.
And Jeff, we had Gene Simmons from KISS on the earlier hour of the show, and he said that he never heard Ozzy say a negative thing about anybody. What was he like behind the scenes?
He was a genuinely sweet man. He was sweet, funny, and smart, and a little crazy. Just the perfect combination of traits for anything. I never saw him yell. The only time he would yell was when he needed Sharon. That was it. And God, it was such a treat to spend 5 years just watching that man and that family. I love them. I'll always love them.
We all remember Sharon, Ozzy.
Yeah, often looking for something like the remote control or, you know. So, Jeff, I mean, for people who don't remember the show or are reconnecting with it today, looking at old clips, how was it described to the Osbourne family, and how did they understand where the boundaries were? I mean, was it 24-hour filming? Just talk about the creation.
It was not 24 hours. They slept, but we were there 6 days a week from the time they got up to the time they went to bed. And pretty soon they were so comfortable with the cameras that they just lived their lives. And we captured it, and then we cut it into what we considered a sitcom. It was a sitcomery in a way, a combination of sitcom and a documentary. And we tried to have story arcs like you would in a sitcom. Sometimes we had an A story, sometimes an A story and a B story. And if you paid any attention, you saw that we used kind of sitcom graphics, sitcom music. They were naturally funny. Ozzy is one of the funniest people I've been around. And I came from the Letterman show, and then the Chris Rock show, then the Disney show, and then the Osbournes. And Ozzy's as funny as any comedian I've worked with. I would compare him to Tracy Morgan. I've spent a lot of time working with Tracy, and they both are just naturally funny people.
That's incredible. But Jeff, surely when this idea was pitched, there must have been naysayers who never thought this was going to work, who thought this was a crazy idea.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really understood what the show was going to become. I mean, we certainly didn't. We knew that family was entertaining, and there was a documentary about the Osbournes on the BBC that I saw, and it was just verite stuff, just them walking around their house and interacting, and that kind of gave a glimpse as to what the show could be. And then we just cut it to comedy. That was the key. And it's interesting. If you put cameras on a family, these stories do play out. And we were with them long enough over, many weeks that these stories would play out and that we could edit them into episodes.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much. Coming to us from
Priest Lake, doing the work of the Tourism Board of Idaho. We've all looked up Priest Lake. It is gorgeous.
I think I see is there a little lake in the background there? Looks beautiful, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Not a little lake.
A big lake. All right, that was today's By the Way. Ahead, the stories that caught our eye, including some price hikes on some very popular candies. We'll tell you which ones they are. Plus, license plate readers can help authorities catch criminals, but sometimes they get the wrong people pulled over, and it could happen to you. We'll bring you the story when we get back. Welcome back to CBS Mornings Plus. Here are the stories that caught our eye. So we have some not some good news for chocolate lovers. That next Hershey treat might cost you more. The company said consumers should expect price hikes across its products, which include Reese's, Kit Kats, and Hershey Kisses. Hershey says it will be a low double-digit percentage increase. A spokesperson said the changes are not related to tariffs or trade policy, but to the skyrocketing cost of cocoa. In the past 5 years, listen to this, cocoa prices have jumped 73% due to a global shortage driven by climate change. The price hikes are expected to take about 90 days to go into effect.
I'm not going to like it, but I will pay it. I mean, there's nothing better than a classic Hershey bar, particularly on a summer day, slightly melted.
Really?
Oh, it's so good. Yes. Okay.
Almonds or no?
No. Classic.
Oh, man.
There are only two things in life. That's what they say. Death and taxes. I would add a third. Coca-Cola. It is unavoidable. Doesn't change often. Pretty consistent. A classic. But when it does change, headlines are made, and that is today. Coca-Cola has announced a new line of Coke that will be made with cane sugar in these United States instead of high fructose corn syrup, the stuff that can't go in tunnels because it's a hazmat. It comes after a post by President Trump last week claiming he had persuaded the company to make the switch. That's what he said anyway. Coca-Cola said the new product will use sugar produced in the U.S. and it's intended to offer more choices to consumers. It's going to roll out in the fall. Scientists say there's no health difference, so, whatever you like.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love imported Coca-Cola from Mexico because of the sugar thing. All right, well, it turns out this story is for our executive producer, Shauna Thomas. It's about tortoises. They are hiding a soft side under those hard shells. For the first time, new research finds the reptiles can experience emotions like optimism and anxiety. Scientists in England studied 15 red-footed tortoises, putting them through a series of cognitive tests, exposing them to new objects and unfamiliar environments, and they found that tortoises who made more optimistic decisions were less anxious. Those with enriched habitats broke out of their shells and wanted to explore and engage more.
Interesting. Wow, I learned something new. All right, here's a question for you. Have you ever gotten a ticket in the mail because your license plate was photographed by one of those automated plate readers? Yes.
Maybe?
Yes,
only definitely. Maybe? No, the red light camera gets me.
I thought you could say never, never, and I would
I
believe you.
wish.
Those readers are not only looking for speeding vehicles, they are also tracking and flagging vehicles reported stolen or linked to someone with an outstanding warrant, which could get you pulled over long after the fact. But what happens when the system makes an error, a mistake? CBS News found more than a dozen incidents where people were mistakenly stopped as a result of the technology misreading their plate. CBS News' Anna Schechter's here with what you need to know about this. This is very concerning stuff. How'd you get on this story, and what do you do if the wrong car is flagged?
Well, initially, we were looking at AI and policing and how it's changing policing. And I spoke to police departments all over the country, large and small, sheriff's offices, and they all say that AI and technology, including these automatic license plate readers, are a game changer because the way it works is it's a high-speed camera that uses AI to read the license plate and check it against a hot list that police have, so a stolen vehicle or a vehicle used in a crime. So they're all very, very high on this technology. But then we started looking for cases when they might have gotten it wrong. And there was one case that just really stopped me in my tracks in Aurora, Colorado in 2020. A family with children, including a 6-year-old child, they were driving an SUV and the license plate matched a motorcycle that had been stolen with a Montana license plate, so totally different. But the automatic license plate reader just read that license plate and it triggered a felony stop, and Aurora police stopped this family. I think we actually have some still images. Guns drawn.
We saw it, yeah.
When it triggers that felony stop, police are often trained to draw their weapons, have the family get out of the car, lie on the hot summer pavement in Colorado. Really horrific, traumatic stuff. And then we started looking for more. And we kept finding more.
Wow.
New Mexico, New York, more in Colorado, actually. Even one case where a woman, she drove into her fancy condo garage and they followed her in. Her sister gets pulled into the back of the car, guns drawn, really traumatic stuff.
What do you do if you're a lawmaker or something here? Because clearly there's a benefit to have this automated eye on the road, but there's a downside as well, as your reporting shows.
Well, I actually think that advances in technology, these tech companies that provide this technology, police departments use federal and state grants money to sort of contract out to these companies. They need to keep making this better. The mistakes are things like a 0 mistaken for an O or vice versa, a 2 for a 7, or one motorcycle license in one state might be the exact same digits, and that might be stolen, and that tracks you. And they're so good that they actually triggered the stop. It's so funny because sometimes when I'm looking at auto theft, which is a really common problem, people, their cars are stolen and they don't get the cars back. Sometimes very frustrating for them. And this is just the absolute worst case scenario.
It's horrible, especially when there are kids involved. Horrific. Anna, thank you for bringing us to this. Appreciate it. The new Apple TV series Stick is all about it. We are talking to its star, actor Peter Dagger, who stopped by the other day. Take a look when we get back. Our next guest had to learn golf from scratch for his latest role. Peter Dagger is his name, and he stars in the new Apple TV Plus series, Stick. He plays Santi, the teenage golf prodigy mentored by a down-and-out pro played by Owen Wilson. On last week's episode, Santi shows up for his very first professional tournament and ran into a familiar face.
Hi, good morning. I'm here to play. I'm here to sign in.
My gosh, you can't be much older than my grandson. Go ahead. Sign right here.
Santiago?
Yeah. Keegan Bradley.
Hi.
It's you. You're Keegan Bradley. How do you know my name?
You signed it right here.
Peter Dagger recently dropped by our studio to talk to us about this series. Take a look. So, is it true you never played golf before this?
Yes, it's true. I had never touched a club, but as we were talking about a little bit before, I played baseball for a long time, and so the mechanisms of the swing are sort of similar, that inside out, but yeah, no, I never had.
So how did you train to be able to convince people watching, especially people who know golf, that you knew what you were doing?
Well, it started in New York. As soon as I got the role, Apple was lovely and helped provide me a trainer named Bo Lardner, and we started working. It started with an hour a day, and then it progressed to 2, sometimes 3, and then when we would go play 18, it was 4 hours a day. And once I started, I realized that I needed it badly in order to feel 1/10 of the confidence that Santi feels when he's out there playing. I needed to feel it in my body. I didn't want to act confidence. I don't think you really can. So all that training allowed me to get to a place where I'm like, okay, when I stepped out to shoot and I saw the cameras, I'm like, I have this swing, I have this way of thinking.
It's also about maintaining for the viewer the believability of all of it, right? They can be immersed in it because you do look like a pro. And if you get it wrong, it's amazing. Like if you watch a baseball or a football movie and like the arm doesn't work or like the bat's off, you're like, just took me out of it, but you nail it.
What about for golf? Are there little things that golfers know that...
Yeah, there's the top swing. There's that wrist at the top of the swing. There's the finish. There's little things like a club twirl. When you hit a chip shot or you make a divot, you gotta wipe it off your foot, like to get the mud off, the dirt off. There's little things that people do when they go putt and they hold their club up. There's a lot of little things that I tried to incorporate, and you just gotta watch all those like tournaments, the US Opens, the majors, all that stuff, and watch those 3-hour-long videos on Sundays to see those little intricacies.
So we were also talking about you being from Miami. You're born and raised, first-generation American. Your father's Cuban. And you say this character, Santi, short for Santiago, you connect with him culturally. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like as a child growing up in Miami, it's interesting being first generation because you're caught up between where your parents come from and then where you're born into. And I think it wasn't really cool to speak Spanish in Miami in the school that I went to, and I sort of shied away from that part of me. And then as I grew older and I moved to New York at 18, I started to realize that it was such an advantage. I mean, I could communicate with a whole different kind of person. My world expanded. It was, and I started to love that part of me. I started speaking Spanish again, and I think Santi in many ways helped me remember that.
So let's talk about the show and Owen Wilson, right? Like big star. Did you know him well before you did this?
I knew of him. I mean, he's a legend, and I had never done a deep dive into his movies. But then working with him, you sort of realize, without even watching his movies, why he's so appreciated, why he's so beloved. He's so kind. He's so close to the ground. He's wise. He can quote you anything from Hemingway to T.S. Eliot. And he's funny, but he's such a special and rare kind of person.
Hey, you know, we're talking on a day when the finale of Stick comes out.
Yeah.
What can people expect? And also, are you hearing anything about a season 2?
Well, yeah, season 2 is a possibility, and but yeah, the finale's great. I think if you've made it this far into the show, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens. You learn a lot about Santi's character watching him play on a Sunday of a big golf tournament, and expect to see a lot of ups and downs, a lot of emotional sort of highs and lows that come with that pressure of playing on a Sunday.
Playing on a Sunday means you've made it to the finals?
Yeah, it means that you got through Thursday and Friday, you made it through the cut, and if you're playing on a Sunday and you feel pressure, it's probably because you have a big chance of winning the tournament.
Tony, I have to say, you're usually the man with the best hair at this table, but Peter has brought it.
Well, I was going to say, talk about heroes. That's my preferred hair, Shauna, our executive producer. Just so you know, that's how I would wear it if I were allowed to do it any way I like to do it. It looks awesome.
Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The season finale of Stick premieres today on Apple TV+.
Ahead, day 3 of our CBS Deals Summer Savings Event. Lifestyle expert Elizabeth Werner is here with some luggage for your next trip. And we've got today's pluses and minuses. Mine's a doozy. We'll be right back.
It is day 3 of our CBS Deals Summer Savings Event, and all week we are bringing you more products at bigger discounts. So to start shopping right now, scan that QR code on your screen or visit CBSDeals.com. Knocking's lifestyle expert Elizabeth Werner joins us. You brought such a bag of goodies.
Thank you. I'm so excited. So this is a first for us at CBS Deals. This is a beauty box valued at $379, but our price, $89.99. You're getting 9 items, starting off with a SolarWave infrared light tool. Now what I love about this is it's small and it's portable, but it's doing the same thing that those big masks do, where it's going to help the skin produce a little more collagen, which can help then reduce the look of fine lines, wrinkles, help out with the tone. So this is just one item that's in the box, by the way, and this one is valued at $119.
Wow.
But we have a tool that you and I both...
I have this.
Yeah, so this tool actually, it's silicone, you add your cleanser to it, and it's gonna get all the stuff out of the pores in the face. It's really amazing. And then after you rinse off, you can utilize this to put on your serums and your moisturizers
also,
as
like,
well.
There's like a self-care feeling. Like I feel like I'm taking care of myself when I use this at the end of the day.
7,000 vibrations per minute. It's like relaxing. It's wonderful. Now you're also going to be getting a lip plumping serum, a mascara, a lip gloss. You're going to be getting great facial. Just amazing. It's really like a spa in a box. Everything that you can imagine. It is such a great gift to give somebody else, but also like, let's take care of ourselves too. $89.99. Yes, take it with you anywhere, right? The office, the car, like get your treatment in. All right, so Populish. This is an amazing brand. A mom that actually, after she delivered her twins, created this brand of shapewear, but it's modern. It's nylon and spandex, super comfortable. I thought that you had to have underwire to have support, but I have learned now these bras are the best I have ever worn. There is no underwire. They're all double layered. They're seamless. They provide exactly the right level of support. They also have created it so that you don't have that flow over in the back, because it's got a nice smoothing, nice seam. They're all double lined. Right now, these are $26. They're normally $65.
For bras? That's amazing.
Amazing. And we have them in all sizes and lots of different skin tones, which I love. Okay, Olympia set of luggage. It's a set of 3. So amazing when you think about that. With these 3, you're getting great organization, so you can see all the different pockets. Then you're also getting the 8 jumbo spinner wheels, which makes them easy to utilize. As you can see, we've got handles absolutely everywhere. And on the one over there by you, you can see that little hook there.
I love this hook.
Yeah, so you can put your kids' food, snacks, your little neck pillow.
Water bottle.
And this set of 3, it's over a $200 savings today, $211 with some change, and you're getting all 3 for that.
I love it. We partner with all of these companies, so to get these deals or to buy anything you saw today or from our 8 o'clock hour, scan the QR code on your screen or visit CBSDeals.com. And tune in tomorrow for day 4 of our summer savings event. And a reminder, our bestseller from yesterday, the full Crystal all-season cleaning kit, is available for 53% off. I need that one too, for the windows.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Tony?
I'm excited to tell you that it's time to bring it on home with pluses and minuses, and I will kick things off. So we've told you before about the asteroid that was discovered in the skies last year, and then early this year, people were worried about the 3.1% chance at one point that it could hit the Earth. Mumbai, Lagos, Bogota, all in the crosshairs. The risk has passed. A recalculation has told us that this asteroid is not going to hit the Earth. However, the thing that's really cool and my big plus today is that moment when it seemed like it was going to be a problem kicked into motion a whole universe of people on Earth whose job it is to track and then, if necessary, defend the Earth from asteroids.
Like Armageddon style?
Planetary defenders, according to this article in Technology Review. They crewed their battle stations, including the UN-supported Space Mission Planning Advisory Group in Vienna, which discussed options to redirect the asteroid, including Armageddon-style nuclear weapons or unmanned crew spaceships.
I have seen that movie, Tony.
One guy canceled an appointment and said, I can't come today. I have to
save the world.
He said it.
I love it. All right, everybody, that does it for us. We hope that we added a little plus to your day. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Bye.